आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्. Welcome back everyone to the final leg of Ramayana that we have been fondly looking into in our quest of Iswara to Swara. We have been exploring Ramayana so far, and what have we explored so far? Just a quick glimpse, a quick recap of things that stand as of now. Firstly, we have taken a different route, so to speak, a different approach, so to speak, towards Ramayana. And this is not just a storytelling kind of thing that we have been doing. We have, of course, narrated the story. We have, of course, interacted on the story, questions and debates and discussions. All these things have happened. But the main part of the entire series has been to identify these 16 attributes that Valmiki has listed out in the first chapter during his conversation with Narada. So based on these 16 attributes, we have understood each and every attribute so far. And we have also seen the corresponding stories, or the stories where these attributes get reflected in Rama's life. So this has been the approach so far. And why all of these things are required and how is it interconnected with Ishvara to Swara is, see, Ishvara is a certain tattva that exists everywhere. So it is very difficult to fathom or imagine something that is everywhere, that is sarva vyapaka. Then we need certain specification. We need some way to connect with that vyapakam tattva. So the way to connect with that vyapaka tattva is nothing but these attributes. So when we take a look at this attribute, whether it is satya, whether it is kritagnyata or dharmagnyata, when we take a look at these things and when it reflects in our day-to-day conversations and interactions, it can be a small child with whom we are interacting, and the truthfulness, the gratitude, if it pops out, if it comes out, if it is radiated in a small child, then what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to get connected through that attribute towards Ishvara. So that is the whole idea of going through Ramayana and identifying these 16 attributes, so that whenever and wherever and however we witness these attributes, we will be able to connect with the Ishvara Tattva. Because the Swaras need not only be the 7 Swaras. In Kannada, they say that Hador Gyode Swara anta. So for those who sing, it is only 7 Swaras for them, poor people. You ask people like us who don't sing, how many Swaras do we have? We can explore new kind of Swaras. The only thing is, it doesn't sound pleasant. But it has to sound pleasant was never part of our negotiation, isn't it? So if it is about only Swara, then we can also have multiple Swaras. No, jokes apart, but you see, when we say Swara, it is an expression again as well, because we find this Swara being such a significant part of our entire Vedic corpus. All the Veda mantras have necessarily got Swara. And interestingly, if we observe that Swara has, it has been transformed, or it has traveled across to other fields as well. The most famous example is being Sangeeta. It doesn't mean that apart from Sangeeta and Veda, we don't find Swara in any other parts of Vedic knowledge systems or any other parts of Indian knowledge systems. That is not true. In each and every place, in each and every knowledge system, there is a room for Swara. The aksharas that we actually speak, they have a certain Swara as well. See, in the previous year when we had this theme, Akshara, last year's theme, so we saw that how each and every letter is a representation of a certain deity, isn't it? It's wonderful to know that each and every letter represents a certain deity, a certain tattva, a certain element, and all these things. But at the same time, the same varna, if it can be pronounced in different swaras, it will lead us to different deities. That is also there. That is the power that the Swaras have. And it can be experienced in our day-to-day conversations as well. When we say A, it is a friendly A. A, see, no, forget about my eyes, but it is the same A, but it's a little Taraswara, and it gets the meaning. It delivers the message very clearly. So the Swaras can carry a lot in them, and they embody the true meaning. They hide that meaning in themselves and they present it, they deliver it at all times. Swaras are like postmen. They carry the post and they maintain the confidentiality of that, and they deliver it to the right address. All we need to ensure is we should be present in that address. That's all. So if we are present in that address, then we'll be able to receive the post, open the post, and get the news. That's why that connection from Iswara to Swara and Swara to Iswara is a two-way thing which we have been discussing. And in that series, we are now continuing with the last leg of the remaining qualities of Rama. Many a times it happens that the content that we have, the stuff, the material, the things that we have in us is fabulous. Now let us imagine for 1 second, let us, because it has to be by touching wood, we have to imagine that kind of scenario. Imagine if our country did not have any temples at all. What would have happened to the aesthetics quotient of our Vidyas and Kalas? If there was no dance, if there was no music, if there was no temple architecture, they are all the aesthetic representations. They do represent aesthetics. I mean, they shout aesthetics to us in the form of sound, in the form of visuals, in the form of stone. They are representing that aesthetics. And each and every, even though the tattva has not changed, the tattva has remained the same. It is the Parabrahma tattva, it is the supreme thing that is being on display in various forms. In Sangeeta, it will be on display through Saptaswaras. In dance, it will be displayed through the Abhinayas, through 4 Abhinayas. But when it comes to architecture, it will be represented through sculpture, through stone, the magnificence that people have. If we take all these things away, it will look very dry, isn't it? If someone were told that all that you have for realization is only the Upanishad Vakyas, 90% of the world would be rejected then and there. Because not everyone is eligible to listen to Upanishad Vakyas. Eligible in the sense, wo bhata nahi hai, as they say in Hindi. I mean, we don't feel well connected with that. It doesn't mean that we have to show any disrespect towards them. We are not showing any disrespect, but it doesn't bode well with us. It's just like, the doctors determining what medicine suits this particular patient. It's just because is patient care, for this patient, a certain medicine is suitable, it doesn't mean that the rest of the medicines are useless. Right? So similarly, I'm not saying we should not come to the conclusion that Vedas and Upanishads are useless to the general public. They are useful, but you can extract few things from that. And if you can put all the essence that you have taken from the Vedas and Upanishads and make it and present it to the people in such a way that it is not only pleasing to the Indriyas, but it is also pleasing to Atma. That is the trick that is missing in the rest of the world. Whereas in our country, in Bharata, this trick is still there. It is integrated, it is interwoven in such a beautiful way that it is naturally imbibed in us, that whatever the content is, when presenting it, it should be beautiful. Tell me if I am wrong. We all remember those assignments that we have done in schools and colleges. Okay. 10-page assignment. Content is absolutely rubbish. Sorry. Yeah? It's only copy-paste kind of thing. Copy it from someone. But have you seen how we would decorate that? The borders. In every page, there will be borders. Writing only 2-point space now that we know the computers and all. And some drawings and all, and while presenting as well, students would be very much looking forward to mention if the professor happens to be their favorite. If they are students' favorite, then they will add sir, ma'am, and everything. Otherwise, just write the bloody name and submit it to them. We all have witnessed this. But you see, the beautification of everything and anything is imbibed in this. And it is an important part. It's a quality, it's an attribute to be beautiful. Now, this will split the room, I know. And what if there is a person who is not beautiful? Beauty should be from within. Don't go that far. You don't have to stretch that far. It's not only beauty from within and all. No. Beauty should be present on the outside as well. It is equally important. You can't be looking ugly and speaking about how beautiful Bhagavan Mahavishnu is. Do you think it makes sense? It won't, right? And where is this idea being driven? The idea is driven from the fact that it is told that Devo Bhutva Devam Archayet. One has to be the Bhagavan in order to worship the Bhagavan. So therefore, we see in all the paramparas, whether it is Natha parampara or Bhakti parampara or Bhajana parampara or Kirtana parampara, do we not see them adorning themselves with all those things that their Ishta Devata would be doing? We see so many people in Vrajabhumi, especially in Mathura, Vrindavan, and all these places. They themselves will dress up as Radha. They themselves will dress up as Krishna, and then they do the bhajan, kirtan, and everything. Why does such a parampara exist? Because there is a certain value for the expression as well, for the appearance as well. We can't always ignore, we can't always dismiss that appearance is not important. Appearance is important. Why I'm stressing so much on all these points is, if appearance did not matter, then Valmiki would not be adding this particular thing as one of the most important attributes in his list of 16 attributes. That brings us to the question, what is the attribute in focus today? Background music, drum roll. Here comes the attribute for today. That is Kaschaika Priyadarshanaha. Eka Priyadarshanaha. Okay. There is something called as Darshanaha. Darshanaha means not the other person, not the boss. Okay. Darshanaha. To be visible. Okay. That is Darshanaha. And then Priyadarshanaha. Pleased, pleasingly visible. Okay. Most of the times we are not pleasingly visible. We are visible. Many a times we are visible. 90% of the times we are visible. Maybe 5-6% of time in our entire life we become pleasingly visible. Rama was not just visible. Rama was not only pleasingly visible, but he was Eka Priyadarshanaha. Only pleasingly visible. In whatever moment you wanted to capture Rama, he was pleasingly visible. Always. Eka Priyadarshana. That is such an important quality to have. Now, why I'm saying all these things is, it is the first impressions that make a lasting impact. We all agree with this. If we are to approach, take for example, a guru or a king for some matters, and we want to just take a glimpse, or we just want to have an audience with the king. And if the king is not pleasant looking, if he doesn't appear prasanna vadanam, why do you think in the beginning of all the activities, we do worship Ganapati? Okay. Shuklam Baradharam, okay, fine. Shashivaranam, Chaturbhujam, all these things are outer appearances, no? But what adds to that radiance, what adds to that brilliance, what adds to the glow of Ganapati? Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayat. That Prasanna Vadanam, whatever is the idea that has been captured in that shloka or in that particular word with the part Prasanna, is the same exact idea that has been presented by Valmiki when he asked Priyadarshana. Priyam Prasannam. What all things are Prasannam, they are always going to be Priyam for us. We like the puliyogre that they offer to us, that they give us in Melkote. Right? Priyam. Why is it Priyam for us? Because it brings that, say, prasannata is there. An expression of prasannata is important. Oh, it is prasada. It is prasada, true, but it has to also have that kind of appearance. If it doesn't possess that kind of appearance, then it will all be lost. And Rama possessed this quality of Eka Priyadarshana. Is there any other line that substantiates this claim? A very popular line in the Sampradaya. Pumsam Mohana Rupaya Punyashlokaya Mangalam. Isn't it? When they did that Mangala Shasanam for Rama, this is the line that appears in the Mangala Shasanam for Rama. Pumsam Mohana Rupaya. When they said Pumsam Mohana Rupaya, by Pumsam they did not mean only male, only men. By Pumsam they meant all the human beings. All people are considered as Pumsam. Okay. For each and every person, Mohana Rupaya. They set their eyes on Rama. They do not want to take their eyes off Rama. And how many times have we felt this? And with whom do we feel this kind of connection? Very rarely with human beings. Okay. It may come as a surprise, but very rarely with human beings. There is a certain level of tolerance that comes along with looking at someone. 25 years of marriage, you count the number of hours each one of them have looked at one another. It will not even come to 3 hours or 4 hours maximum. I'm speaking like I have done some PhD, or I have some loads of experience in this regard. Whether I have the experience or not, it doesn't matter. We stay together with so many people in a family for so many years, and yet we never feel this kind of connection. But I'll give you a different idea. Where exactly do we feel this kind of connection? We would have come across this. It's not like it is an alien thing for us. You go to your Ishta Devata. It could be Kanyakumari, it could be Sharadamba, it could be Iswara, it could be Gopala Krishna, it could be any deity of your choice. Your Ishta Devata. How long can you look at that deity? Always, no? There is no end to it. You don't feel like, Abba, you don't feel that. You really don't get that feeling. You go to a relative's house, we have certain obligation to stay with them for a certain amount of time. And then we will start making some inputs in our head and some reminders in our mind that, okay, I think it is time now, we will leave. We don't make such kind of things when it is pure, because it is not just that attractiveness. There is something else. There is a different kind of pull. And a great person will always have that kind of pull. And in what other context we would have heard this particular scenario, many experiences that have been shared by people in our country is the yogis, the gurus. Someone who had been to Ramana Maharshi, they would not want to come away from them, isn't it? They would want to sit there. They need not interact with them. It's not like, constant conversation happening between us and them. But again, we would not like to abandon that place either. Right? The same thing happens with the great acharyas, the great yogis, Jivan Muktas, so many wonderful people. The true sign of greatness is when we are in and around them, we would not want to desert that place. We may not be interacting with them constantly, but we would definitely not want to leave that place. And it is something that cannot be expressed. It is only experienceable. I can take you only this far, but the rest of the things is, it is something that is subjected to our own experience. We would have felt it this way. Someone might have felt it in Kali Ghat. Someone might have felt it in Somnath. Someone might have felt it in Kedarnath, someone might have felt it in Kanyakumari, it doesn't matter. And why exactly I've quoted all these temples is because temple is a place where you preserve and present aesthetics. That is why it has got so much of value. It is not just a place of divinity, but it is a place of divinity with aesthetics. Because divinity truly comes with aesthetics. It is not ugly looking at all. Otherwise, how would they do dhyanam of all the things? Mahavishnu, Bhagavan Mahavishnu has taken so many different forms. He's taken Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, so many unique types of avatara, Hayagriva, so many avatars he has taken. We still do the dhyana of all these avatars. It's not like we do the dhyana of only human-looking deities. How fondly do we contemplate on or meditate upon Ganapati? He's not even humanly looking. He has an elephant head, isn't it? But that has never stopped us from getting that connection. Then it goes on to show that there must be something else that is adding that value. That ekapriyatvam is the point. Now, the Vyakhyakas, they have written beautifully, easiest of the ways. They have expressed it in such a brilliant manner, I have to tell you, that it's very easy. One person, he says that, I think it is Govinda Stika. Okay, he mentions it, Govinda Rajiya. He says, let's see, Lokehi kasyachit darshanam kadachit priyam bhavati, kadachit apriyancha bhavati. Same person, if we have had a fight with them, we would not like to look at their face, no matter how beautiful they are. So the same person can at times turn out to be very pleasant, and at times they can turn out to be absolutely unpleasant. But there is only one person who looks pleasant at all times. It's very rare. And that rarest of rare attribute was present in Ram. He was Sadaika Priyadarshana. He was always a Priyadarshana. By looking at him, people would feel that pleasantness. I think there is one more incident that can be associated with this one is two incidents that I want to focus. The first one is Kaikeyi, of course, and Rama's conversation. So Kaikeyi mentions this to Rama that your father has instructed you to leave for forest for 14 years. Rama accepts it. He's ready to leave. But he just wanted his father to speak to him once. And that did not happen. And he felt very bad. And he was just waiting a nod, at least a from Dasharatha. Even that did not happen. And when Rama was looking for this kind of a reaction from Dasharatha, Kaikeyi was very quick to jump on the gun. And she says that, why are you not leaving immediately? And all these conversations break out. And it is at that time that Rama made that bold statement where he says that I'm not here as a commoner. Don't consider me as a commoner. I'm Satya Dharme Pradishtham, Vidyamam Rishibhestudyam. I consider me equivalent to rishis and all these things. And after he came out of that room where this heavy conversation has happened, it's a very, very heavy conversation. If you read, you will sense that you can feel it within your heart, that how heavy the conversation could have been between Rama and Kaikeyi. And once we have such kind of an intense conversation, and when we come out of the room, it is very much visible on our face. Whether we want it or not, whether you use makeup or not, it doesn't matter. You can't hide these things. It just gets expressed on our face. Because we don't have that kind of Indriya Nigraha. And we are very quick to react. We are very quick to kind of get attached with the outcomes of the conversation. Right? So the problem is deep lying there. Rama was not like that. See, whatever you hear, I think this is the part which was given as an assignment as well previously, I believe, in the last segment. What all things we hear about Sthita Prajna in Bhagavad Gita. If you want a working example for that, then you have to find it in Rama. So if Krishna has given you the theory, then Rama has given you the practicals. How to be like that. So we saw how Rama is a Sthita Prajna. And one of the greatest traits of Sthita Prajna is they are always Priyadarshana. The reason why we are not pleasant to look at is because we don't have that Sthita Prajnatva. My teacher used to remind a beautiful proverb in Sanskrita. Okay. Avyavasthita chittana prasadopi bhayankara. There is a person called as Vyavasthita Chitta, who has his mind and sense organs, everything under control. But there are some people who are Avyavasthita Chitta. They themselves have no emotional control, no control over their ideas and everything. They are extremely happy or they are extremely sad and depressed. It's very difficult to deal with them. And if they have invited you and if they speak very well, very nicely to you, if you feel very happy, there is something seriously wrong with you. You should be scared if such kind of a person is very good to you, because proverbs can never go wrong, isn't it? Veda sullagado, gade sullagado. Yeah. See, avyavasthita chittana, those who are avyavasthita chittas, their prasada is also bhayankara. You never know what will happen by taking that prasada. So, but Rama was not like that. So the hidden secret behind Eka Priyadarshana is not the foundation. Not that one. What brand of foundation did Rama use? No. It is Sthita Prajnatva. And if we become that Sthita Prajna, automatically we will radiate. Unknowingly, we will be radiating that pleasantness. I'll substantiate it with one more line from Yoga Sutras. Okay. Many a times we have heard these stories that once upon a time, there used to live a rishi in the forest, and he had an ashrama. And in that ashrama, all the wild animals used to live in harmony. We think that all of this is a nonsensical story. Kattu kathe. ಒಂದು ಕಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ಋಷಿಯು ವಾಸವಾಗಿದ್ದನು. ಅವನ ಆಶ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಮೃಗಗಳು ಶಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ನೆಲೆಸಿದ್ದವು. This doesn't happen. Zoo में नहीं रहते हैं. It is not possible in a zoological garden. And how can it be possible? And where they are in captivity, they are basically captivated animals. And there it is not possible to maintain that kind of peace amongst animals. But here they are free to roam, and yet they were all peaceful. How is it possible? Yoga Sutra answers this in the 3rd chapter. Vibhuti-pada. Okay. In the Vibhuti-pada, Patanjali mentions that ahimsa pratisthayam vairatyagaha. A small example. And when a yogi, when a sadhaka has got complete control, complete command, mastery over ahimsa, in his presence, vairatyagaha, even the natural enemies will leave behind their enmity. We have such an example as well, no? In the history, we have seen. That's the legend of Sringeri, isn't it? The famous story where the snake gave the shadow for a pregnant frog. That basically, the frog is supposed to be eaten by the snake. But vairatyagaha. What is the fundamental reason for this? How did that place develop this kind of ability? Because it used to be a rishi's ashram. What is the rishi's name? Rishyashringa. The same Rishyashringa who is very closely associated with Ramayana as well. If it was not for Rishyashringa, there would be no Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna, isn't it? Because it is Rishyashringa who performed the Putrakameshti Yaga for Dasharatha, by which Dasharatha got these 4 sons. So there itself, in the very beginning itself, the reason by which Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna were born, there was this Sthita Prajna called as Rishyashringa. He was guided by Rishyashringa. He was guided by such Sthita Prajnas. Initially, in his formative years, it was Vasishtha who guided Rama. And then it was Vishwamitra. And when things got very tense on the battlefield, who came to the rescue of Rama? It was Agastya, no? That is how Aditya Hridayam was born. You see Rama's association with all the rishis. You keep good company, they will keep you grounded. And because Rama was well kept by all these rishis, all these sthita prajnas, Rama always imbibed that sthita prajnatva in him, which translated into him being Priyadarshana. Always pleasant to look at. And Shiromani Kara very beautifully brings out another commentator. He says that Nitya Priti Vishayaha. Rama was subjected to, or Rama was the subject to Nitya Priti, eternal love. You know, we understand love in a certain way. As long as it is benefiting us, we will love anything. I love my vehicle. A 18-year-old kid will write on Instagram. 10 years down the line, he would want to change that bike because it is not working anymore. What happened to your love? No, that is 10 years ago. If this is the meaning, if this is the way we are understanding love, then there is something wrong. Whatever Narada Maharshi in Bhakti Sutra said, Satvasmin Parama Prema Rupa. And for that Parama Preeti to exist, that Parama Preeti and Nitya Preeti are not different from one another. They are one and the same. So when Valmiki asked, Kascha Eka Priyadarshanaha, he meant, is there anybody who possesses this ability to be loved eternally? Such a huge ask, isn't it? You go to counselors and you ask them that, am I lovable? Am I affable? And the questions that people ask. And then the counselors will take all the notes and then they say, you are very much lovable. The universe loves you. Are yaar. And I'm sorry. What do you mean the universe loves you? Your neighbor doesn't like you. The dog on the street barks at you. And you are listening to people telling you that the universe loves you. The dog doesn't like you. The dog is barking at you every time you step out of your home and you think that the universe loves me. So please come out of such kind of imagination, fancy world. Welcome to the real world. It really matters as long as we are not sthita prajna, we are not in that level, we will never become lovable, because love or preeti is a very, very strong subject. It is the root for our bhakti. And if I have to share, if I have to worship something, what is the quality that is required? It should be, in such a form, it should be in such a way that I can eternally express my love towards it, appreciation towards it, right? And that ability is very important. And imagine the tall order that Valmiki is mentioning, that is there anybody who also has this kind of quality, along with being courageous, along with being someone who can defeat the entire world, he also needs to be pleasant at times. I have to share this anecdote. Okay. This is very, very interesting anecdote. And for many of you, it might be a repetition, but it's okay. It's only the joke is on me. Enjoy once in a while. Okay. Long ago, when I was still a student, there used to be some weekly presentations that used to happen. We were very much looking forward to it, to grab our opportunity and showcase that we are good to go. And every time I used to speak, my teacher would have only one comment at the end. That is, Vishwanatha has put a lot of effort. I used to think for many years that it's a compliment. I did not know that it is a underhand compliment. I did not know that It was not a compliment. I thought that if my teacher is telling me that my presentation expresses that I have put effort, it means I'm being honest. It took so many years to understand that no. The best part of the best presentations always look effortless. Right? To lead a life is very easy. To lead a life effortlessly, that's where it takes a huge task. That's where it is the task, isn't it? Without breaking a sweat, Rama would look pleasant. Even on the battlefield, we see Rama being Priyadarshana. I don't think we can manage that with no amount of products, developed drug products can ensure that we maintain that pleasantness. I have to do some research on that part. I'm very curious to know that. I'll do my due diligence on that. To know what is the general ask of people. What do they expect when they go to their MUAs, makeup artists? What is it that they are expecting? What do they seek from them? Because for every small event, there will be an MUA nowadays. What is it that they are seeking? What do you want to look like? You tell me. I want to understand the psyche of people, so it becomes more interesting. But here we have a Jita Jagta example, a living example, a fantastic example in Rama who was Eka Priyadarshana. We want to leave that and we want to marry ourselves to a kind of thought which will fade away. I mean, they have to just wash it away later, isn't it? It's not going to stay for a long time. Anyway, interesting things. Now, Eka Priyadarshana. One last thing that I want to add to this, because this is one of my most favorite and also very close to my heart kind of thing. There are many great words in Sanskrit. But if you ask any Samskrita scholar, they all will have their favorite word from Sanskrit. I'm very sure about it. There can be, we may know thousands of words, it doesn't matter. But there is always going to be one word which will be our favorite one. I don't know about other scholars, but I have a favorite word in Sanskrit. Okay, and that word is Asechanakam. Okay. The word is Asechanakam. What is the meaning of the word Asechanakam? Very interesting. That one word is sufficient to show us that Viveka. You remember how Viveka is described in Vedantic discourses. Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. To know what is permanent and what is impermanent. To understand who is the Paramanenta and who is not. Okay. All those things get clarified with one word, Asechanaka. Shankara Bhagavad-pada, very fond of this word. Mechaka Asechanakam. Mithya Drishtanta Madhyabhagante. While describing Bhagavati. What a fabulous word. What a way to use that word. Where exactly to use that word. Fantastic. What exactly is the meaning of this word Asechanakam? Right. Tadasechanakam. This is the definition given in Amarkosha for Asechanakam. Tadasechanakam. That is called as Asechanakam. Nastyanto Tadasechanakam Triptehe Nastyanto Yasya Darshanat. Yasya Darshanat. By looking at which Triptehe, that tripti is there, no? Satisfaction, fulfillment. Antam Nasti. Nastyantam. Yasya darshan. So where we don't feel that satisfaction, where we don't feel that fulfillment, even after looking at it, even after staring at it, even after kind of gotten into it, if you don't feel that I'm done with this, that alam bhava is not there. Alam paryaptam, this is sufficient. If you overdo it, it will become too gross. We don't feel that. That is called as Asechanakam. That Asechanakam is Rama. When all this prasanga happened in Ramayana, okay. Valmiki described when Rama stepped out of that intense conversation. I have not forgotten. I know the sutra. I still have the thread in my hand, so I don't deviate. I may only look like deviating, but I usually don't. I know the sutra. And that intense conversation happened. And after that intense conversation, Rama's face, how did it look? Valmiki describes that. When the previous day, when Rama was told by Dasharatha that you are going to be crowned as the king of Ayodhya, what was the expression of Rama if someone had captured that expression and if they compared it? Okay, layout, while uploading photographs on Instagram, there is something called as layout, where you can add a couple of photographs and then you can write some wordings before, after, famous things. If someone had captured Rama's face when he was told by his own father that you are going to be crowned as the king of Ayodhya, and immediately the next day he has been now told to leave for the forest for 14 years, to abandon everything and leave, and you capture that face of Rama and you present it, find 6 differences. What 6 differences will you find in the, you remember those things used to come in paper, in newspapers, 2 identical images, find 6 differences. You can't find a single difference in these 2 images of Ram. That is Ekapriya Darshana. Stamped, authentic Ekapriya Darshana is established there, where nobody could even sense the change that change. Why were they not able to experience the change or witness the change? Because there was no change in Rama's face. He was as usual. There's something to speak about it. But if we just go through that story and try and put ourselves in the place of Rama and imagine that intensity, both the extremes, who would not be happy if they are told by their father that they are going to be crowned as the king of Ayodhya? And who would not be sad if they are asked to leave for forest for 14 years? Rama truly was a rishi. He was not just a king, he was a rishi. He was that great person. That is where the true beauty lies. That's how he is Ekapriya Darshana. In Christian marriages, they make this promise, in sickness and health. And so some vakyas, some statements come like that, in sickness and health. What sickness and health? I don't think anybody would be holding on to their respective partners in sickness. Very difficult, very difficult. Because the face changes, everything changes in human beings. Their behavior, their choices, their amount of time they spend with us, everything changes. It happens with children and parents. You see the young parents taking care of their children, like small ones, the babies, young children, they're being taken care by their parents. All that happens, and then one fine day, they just leave. No phone call, no messages, no interactions, nothing. How hurtful it is. See, everything changes. But we are talking about something that is constant. That is Ekapriya Darshana. If this doesn't draw us towards Iswara, and I don't know what else will draw us towards Iswara. Because everything else changes. Again, I'm not going to quote the popular thing and say that change is the only inevitable thing. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna would shoot himself if he heard all these nonsensical quotes being pushed in his name. Krishna, by the way, Krishna did not say such kind of word anywhere in Bhagavad Gita, that change is the only inevitable thing in life. Because our mind gets fluctuated, our minds get deviated if we cling on to such kind of lines. Oh, change is the only inevitable thing. What is it pushing us? Where is it pushing us to draw conclusion? What sort of conclusion will we draw from that line? We will draw the conclusion that everything is momentary. We will be taken off from the permanent thing. I told you, the permanent thing is the paramanenta thing. And the paramanenta is always Ekapriya Darshana, is Ram. I told you that word as well. Now everything is connected. Asechanakam. You can call it as Ekapriya Darshana, which is quite easy to all the people to understand. Or if you can give one beautiful word, it is Asechanakam. Tadasechanakam triptehe nastyanto yasya darshanam. Do you think a Jivan Mukta or a yogi, when they attain that samadhi, they will feel that, okay, today I have attained samadhi, finished. Tomorrow onwards, no yoga, nothing. Does it happen to anybody? No. No yogi or no Jivan Mukta would ever say that. We, on the other hand, would say that. Because we are so much used to 6 months course now. Workshops. Dhyana workshop. The day is not far when they would advertise Samadhi workshop. Come join us. In 6 months, you will get Samadhi. Right. So that is one incident. Another incident is once Rama left for the forest, Dasharatha would grieve. Obviously, he would grieve. And he mentions that, you know, who are the most luckiest creatures? The luckiest creatures are those branches of trees, are those birds, are those creatures that lie around in the forest when Rama walks. Okay, he writes one line, which was probably one of the initial lines that were told by my guru, which has just got stuck. Even before I opened the book of Ramayana, those lines were already registered because it was delivered to us with such intensity. And this is what Dasharatha says. Yascha Ramanna Pashyetu, Yancha Ramo na Pashyati, Nindita Sabhave Loke, Swatma Pienam Vigarhati. So there are only two ways of doing this. Either Rama should look at us. Yascha Raman Napashetu. Oh, sorry. We should be able to look at Rama. Okay. Or Rama should look at us. If either one of them is not happening, then we are wasting our life. So that Ekapriya Darshana, it can be two ways. Either the Ekapriya Darshana, Rama himself will be looking at us, or we should be looking at Rama. What great examples can I quote apart from Tyaga Brahma, isn't it? Did he not see Rama everywhere? He saw. Purandara Dasa saw Rama everywhere. Alli nodali Rama, illi nodali Rama, yelli nodali Rama. Maricha also saw, but he was a crooked fellow. That's why I'm not giving him as an example. He was an unfinished good. I mean, like a raw food. Are bare bendiruvanthava anna. It always upsets the health, isn't it? It's not good for gut health if the rice is not cooked properly. Maricha was that kind of food. It was not well cooked, half baked. But we have people, Vishwamitra, what a fine example. Even before all these things in Rama's life unfolded, Vishwamitra knew who Rama was. Aham vedmi mahatmanam Ramam satya parakramam, isn't it? So that is the quality of Eka Priyadarshan, where you don't feel any changes whatsoever. Never ever Rama's opinion changed. Never ever Rama's stance changed. If he took a stand, then it remained as it is. Whether it was about Kaikeyi, whether it was following the words of his father, whether it was the word that he had given to the rishis, Bharata, so many people, he remained. And this ensures that stability. So the takeaway point is, what is beautiful in life? Stability is beautiful in life. Okay. If I have to put it in one word, stability not only in terms of our environment, stability not only in terms of finance, etc., etc. Stability of chitta, right? That is what sthita prajna means. That is what that level is talking about. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha, which we had ended up in the previous segment. So that sthita prajnatvam, if we can attain, then we will achieve that Eka Priyadarshana. Rama was such a Eka Priyadarshana. All right. So that is also one of the reasons why, even after all these years that have passed, even now, Rama Yambuva Yaradaksharada Mahimeya. Pamararu Tavenu Ballaraya. So, such a sweet word, Rama. And it can bring so much of emotions to it. And we have that popular stotra that are taught to children at a young age. And Atma Rama, Ananda Rama. Such a fantastic tradition, heritage that we have, where the word Rama is passed on. Why? Because he is the only permanent thing. Because only permanent things are Eka Priyadarshana. Impermanent things can never be beautiful. Permanent thing is the only thing that can be beautiful. And why is it permanent? Because it is Paramanenta. Nenta in Kannada means a relative, a bandhu. So Paramatma is the only Nenta. And he is the greatest of Nenta. That's why he is Parama Nenta. Please don't say this in academic world. They have no heart. They have only mind. Let them mind their mind. We will keep the heart. Once upon a time, I was also mindful, full of mind. Then my teacher used to look at me. He used to pity me. Vishwanath, nin nodidre nannu balya gnapaka barutte, nanu nin tarna idde. I was also like you, ignorant, idiotic, arrogant. He quoted something which has remained with me. I'm very, I think I'd rather remember him every day, more so than anything else in, in my life. I don't know. And that's just something. Anyway, the line that he had said was, Sarastu yogi bhipitaha, takram pibati panditaha. So you know how majge is done. Mattha, buttermilk in English. How that buttermilk is done. They churn it. And what comes out during churning is the essence of it. That's why Samudra Matharam happened. The essence was taken. Who took the essence? Navanita Chora, Krishna took the essence. He is the Parama Yogi. He took the essence. Pandita, takram pivati pandita. It is good for gut health. Drink. You drink only takra. Takram shakrasya durlabha. Okay, drink. Liters together. Gallons of takra we have been drinking. We don't know the bloody essence. I'm sorry, but where is the essence? And if you have not tasted Navanitam, what have you tasted in your life? That is us. Because the most beautiful part, the essence of everything, is always beautiful. Is always Eka Priyadarshana. And don't say this line to lactose intolerant people. Can't help them. The poor fellows. I wouldn't say Endaro Mahanubhavulu. May Bhagavan give them the right gut health so that they can truly appreciate the greatness, the Amritam that is milk. Milk is called as Amritam. I can't believe if the rest of the world is lactose intolerant, bhaad mein jaye. Let them die. I don't care. India, Bharata should not become lactose intolerant. What do you mean Bharata becomes lactose intolerant? You're born and brought up in a land where Gopalaka Krishna walked this land, and that Amrita is not tolerant to this body. To hell with such kind of body. We have to get ready ourselves to be able to witness, to be able to experience that greatness. जिस भूमि में गो को पूजा जाता है, उस गो माता की दूध हम नहीं पी पाते हैं, तो what kind of a pitiful life it is. Okay, sorry, enough jokes, but you get my point, right? It hurts. It really hurts if Yeah, Nandini milk, yeah, that is true. That is true. I'm not saying it is not, but at least we should not forget that the true milk, the true amritam, we should be able to. I mean, it is all connected. Historically, how they have destroyed the entire chain. We lost our indigenous cows. In came, they infused these Jersey cows, and it destroyed the whole ecosystem. We have to now go in search of, even if we have to see, witness, to be in the presence of such indigenous cows. It has become such a rarity. Oh, alarming. And because we can witness this kind of Priyadarshana in such kind of environment. And we should get back such environment. My guru used to sing this, Marali Bharata, Meragali Sagga Keneyagi. Sagga in Kannada, and old Kannada means Swarga. So Marali Bharata Belagali Sagga Keneyagi. Let that Bharata come back. Let Bharata be re-envisioned, where Swargapavargaspada Marga Bhute will happen again. It should become the land where both Swarga and Apavarga are easily accessible by all its creatures. And for that to happen, that Ekapriya Darshanatvam is required. Need to have the target, that is Rama. And once we lock on to that target, is no more, because he is that Asechanakam. He will never allow us to kind of feel sufficient, like, fine, I'm done with Rama. Now, next class onwards, it is all about Krishna. 6 months Rama, 6 months Krishna. Now, I'm not into Rama and Krishna. I'm now interested in Shaivism. So it's Ekapriya Darshana. And it is the same set of people who, if you ask about them, and if you go and see their song library, One Love, One Life, there is this popular song, no, in English. That will be their favorite song. Irony, I tell you. They are the ones who are constantly listening to One Love, One Life, all these things. They keep moving from Brahmara, just like a bee moving from one place. See, we can have respect. We can show that immense respect and love towards all the deities. But for ourselves, but for that Atmodhara, it should be one way. We should hold on to, cling on to one thing, anything. Not saying that you have to cling on to only Rama. No. Anything, but cling on to one. That is more important. Because Ekapriya Darshana is only that Ishvara Tattva. Only Ishvara can be Ekapriya Darshana. Everything else is Nana Darshana. It's never Priya. Needless to say, it is Nana Darshan. That should not happen. Okay, I think with this, I would like to conclude. I know it's a little early on time, but it's fine. I have kind of, I'm not feeling to speak beyond this, because it has ended in a certain way. Sometimes, Mysore Paka happens quickly. So once the Paka is done, you turn off the knob of that stove. The instruction said that 85 minutes you have to do Paka. Once that Paka has reached, and I will continue in the next week. We have 4 or 5 more attributes remaining. We'll complete that, and it should create that ramp for us, so that we can all walk into 2026 Bengaluru Temple Festival, where it should be a festival where each and every swara that we hear, any sound that is heard by us, it should be leading us towards Ishvara. With those words, I would like to conclude today's talk. If there are any questions or anything, I think we'll take up. I'll give that time to savor Ekapriya Darshana. Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeeti samarpayami.